So offensive performance has been under scrutiny all season. Came to a head Christmas. Obviously, everyone's been talking about it. I know a lot of people can't even sleep after that game on Monday. I hope not, but I've seen some people who said they've been drinking ever since Monday night. But according to the Ringer's Shale Kapadia, out of the 109 games Mahomes has played in, the Chiefs' offensive EPA per drive versus the Raiders ranked 109th. So it was one of the worst games as far as EPA-wise. For those who don't know EPA, expected points added, commonly referred to as EPA, is a measure of how well a team performs relative to expectation. For example, if a team starts a drive on the 50-yard line, its expected points to start the drive would be about 2.5. So that's the EPA aspect of things. You had Jeff Schwartz, former Chiefs offensive tackle, who talked about doing a film review, and he said the inconsistency from the OL play was a big issue, but then when the OL would look good, you have guys running wrong routes and kind of not being sharp in the route running. He also pointed out that Mahomes doesn't throw the ball to MVS, and there's times where MVS is open, he just doesn't throw it to him, and he said there's zero trust there, and it's a glaring problem. He also said there's times where he's not even looking Justin Watson's way, specifically after the Jack Jones interception. He went away from looking at Justin Watson after that. Obviously, Watson had a touchdown, but he said there's multiple times where Watson wasn't even going for him when he was open. There's trust issues there, and then I have a little slideshow here for us to look at here. So that's the APA tweet. The Jeff Schwartz tweet about the MVS, and then our guy Dante, who talked about the check down aspect. It needs to be more like Tom Brady and kind of be more mundane with it. And now that is where I want to talk to you about, JD. So you tweeted about this, what Dante said. You're in agreement with him, but Dante got a little flack from some people online about this quote here. And people were talking about, what do you mean check down? Because if you look at his chart from this past game, I mean, all he did was check down the ball. So I want you to kind of get into that a little bit as far as what do you think about what Dante said, and what do you think about the counter that a lot of people were saying to what Dante said?
So let me address the first part, the EPA. Okay. At 109 games Mahomes played in, the Chiefs' offensive EPA per drive versus the Raiders ranked 109th. We hit it right. So, these are one of the stats and these measurables. All they come up. In the course of a game, I don't even know how to got this now. Expected points added. Yeah. All right. Well, here's the way I look at it. And I went over the film a few times, and Schwartz was right. You go back to what he was saying, like it just seemed like there was a combination of things that everything, whatever bad happened ended up happening, right? That's what it was. And so, and it's been like this all year. It's been like this all year. If a guy's not having a penalty, you're turning down, you're third and long, or you're second and long, and you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole because of a holding penalty or whatever, or not lining up correctly. Or you're seeing things where guys are not getting open, or they're not running the right route, and it looks like Patrick and those guys are not on the same page. Same thing I've seen where MVS has ran open. Seen where Justin Watson has been open. I've seen where guys have been wide open, not just them two. Even Travis Kelce. Are we going to say that Patrick's not looking at Travis Kelce and he's running open? Because I've seen that too, where Patrick hadn't hit him and Travis is wide open. So, do I believe that Patrick has lost a little bit of trust in some of the guys? Somewhat. I would say somewhat, but not all the way. I think he understands, because he threw a ball to MVS in the last game and didn't connect. So he's not totally off of it. I do believe that sometime reading the coverage and what the defense is giving Patrick, I think Pat is sitting back here trying to figure it all out because they're giving him different looks. And so, like, the Raiders were doing a whole lot of bringing that safety down in the paint, start running a little bit more man, doing a little bit more robber against the tight end. They were doing things that was going to throw Pat off, and it was successful. The one pick that he threw, the one he got picked, and I was telling about the Justin Watson one. The corner he didn't get out his back pedal good. He opened up all the way so he could throw. See, he could see the ball. He could see the ball thrown, but Justin Watson didn't do anything to threaten him with speed, like he was going to run past him. So there was no reason for him to open the hips all the way. So he was semi-open. Perfect place for him to be to turn and match the ball to come back. Okay, and Justin Watson, he backed into the route. I watched one where Rashee Rice was running a comeback or a hitch, and he barely pushed the corner. Like he barely pushed him. Pat's thinking he's going to come back down the stem. You push up, come back down the stem, right? That's the whole coming back to the football. Catch it with your hands so you can do called separation. And Rashee Rice didn't do any of that. He couldn't get separation because he didn't push the corner off. He didn't push him up the field, and not to extend your arm, but I'm just talking to like try to run past him. Make it seem like you're running a go route. But it was none of that. So the corner just sat on it. It almost went the other way. I was looking at the Buffalo game because what I was going to do is I was going to show you send examples of what a check down looks like and what a check down actually is. Okay. I think people don't quite understand what check downs are. All right.
We can do that on our Friday betting show. We can
do it on our Friday betting show, but we can go over that the what's the next gen stats?
Next gen
look
stats.
at this. Okay.
Dante.
So look, everything Tay said, man, was factual. It was absolute truth. And so what Tay knows and I know is we understand how long it takes for offensive play to be ran, especially depending on what play it is. Okay. And when I say that, I'm talking about the routes, the route combination. We all have a clock in our head as football players in the NFL. We know exactly how long it takes for particular routes and plays that it takes guys to get open or where you need to be. All right. What you're seeing right here, these are more screens than anything else. These are screens. Okay. Or these might be where Pat is actually holding the ball in his hand so long that he has no other choice but to kind of check it down and try to make something done. This is what this is. This last game shows you that. How many times we run the wide receiver screen? These are wide receiver screens and these are running back screens. This is what this is. And if you can check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that all these one behind the line of scrimmage, that's what that is. That's what that is more so than anything else. Now, if he's checking down because he sees somebody, then good. But usually a check down is maybe catching the back end of the flat or tight end in the flat or right there over the ball, like real quick. That means he's looking to chuck the ball down the field. He's going through his progression. Okay. Number one, number two, check down. Okay. He knows what the check down is going to be. Pat has been holding the ball in his hand so long that sometimes he's even get to the check down late. Because now when he takes off running, now he could kind of throw the ball anyway, and that's where he's actually been hurting people when he starts extending the play with his legs. Then he might just check it down to CEH or McKinnon, in the past how it's been done. But usually a check down comes, said Hut, 2001, 2002, 2003 check down. Okay. That's what Tom Brady was great at. When we talk about check downs for some of these quarterbacks in the NFL, Tom Brady was great at because Tom Brady always looked like he was going to go downfield. He always looked like he was going to throw a deep ball. He'll throw a deep ball every once in a while. Okay. Just keep everybody honest, keep everybody on their toes. But you best believe he'll throw a quick little slant or maybe something like a short pass. Short pass is different from a check down. Okay. Check downs mean you're going through your progression and then you come to your safety valve. That's what a check down means. So when I'm looking at this right here, these are not check downs. These are, without a doubt, screens. And the 5 yard, those throws that's probably your first read. That's the easy throw you take. That's what the defense gives you. You throw this ball right here, right? And you see it right now, let it go. Let it fly. But there's times in this year that I've seen plenty times that Pat has not utilized his check down. And check downs are utilized to move the chains. When you're having a problem moving the football, give it to your back to the outside and let him make a move. The check downs give the opportunity to a tight end or running back to be one-on-one with a corner or safety or a linebacker. And I would take my guy, my Joe, against your Joe all day. So I would put and bank my money on McKinnon or Pacheco or CH out in the flat to run past a linebacker and get past him. He'll get 8 yards. And that's what man, Marcus, and we'll do it on Friday, man, because I had like several videos where he did utilize check down and guys got the first down. Because it's all about just moving the chains at this point, right? That's what helps you get into a rhythm. And so if you're not utilizing your checks downs because you're trying to throw deep and you wait for guys to get open and you're trying to do scramble drill, that's the problem. That's the issue. And so these are things that you have to practice. You got to be able to do this. Matter of fact, I think I talked about this early on in the year. In the season, I was talking about this. That sometimes the scramble drill that you have, like sometimes you just want to extend plays. Sometimes extending plays is it's a longer handoff to the guy in the flat.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So this is short to intermediate passing. But what teams are doing now, what they're playing is they're daring us to throw deep. That's what teams are figuring out at this moment. They want you to throw deep because they feeling like, well, look, you don't have nobody to throw deep to. We'll take the one-on-one. All right? We'll one man against you all day. And we'll double Kelsey. That's what we'll do. Well, I tell you what, you continue to do that. And I think this is where we have to, this offense has to evolve. It has to evolve into something saying we have to threaten you deep. Okay? I still got to give MVS a couple shots deep. Yeah, I know you dropped one against Green Bay. I get that. Or Philly. I get you dropped one. But daggone it, MVS, I'm going to throw another one to you. Okay? Yeah, we can throw some deep ones to Justin Watson. Okay? Now we need to start throwing some to Rice. Rasheed Rice. Throw some deep ones there. Kadarius Toney. There's other guys we need to throw some depth to. But Cole Harmon get back, we can definitely throw some deep balls to him. So those things have to happen. But when I think this past game, man, look, hats off to the Raiders, man. They had a great defensive scheme. They really did. When I went back and I checked this out, I was like, yo, they was ready to play us. They were really ready to play us. Not when they are just on their high from that 60, how many points they put up against the Chargers, but they was ready defensively to play against us, and I don't think we were ready for that at all. At all. So Pacheco was just coming back. You could tell he was a little resilient as far as like trying to get hits on the shoulder. I get that, right? And so that was a little tough. But those are those things like check down means. Some dude trying to explain check down to me. I'm like, are you kidding? You trying to explain check down to me? Man, look. You know what? Sorry.
Was this a conversation on Twitter?
Yes, it was a conversation. Yeah, on Twitter.
We'll watch that.
And I was like, the initial play, okay, throwing a short pass initially is not a check down. It's not a check down, okay? It isn't. My man Keys, EPA finds its origins all the way back to 1969 to Virgil Carter's Bill Washington's quarterback behind the invention of the West Coast offense. Northwestern professor Robert Mackles worked together. Okay.
Very little history nugget right there. I like that, Keys.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can't wait to go watch that response you guys had with that Twitter exchange you had with that guy.
Oh man, no, but look, I get, the thing was, I think you ended up bringing up it was maybe a different conversation. Somebody's trying to bring up, these people who's been watching film. I'm like, listen, look, I'm gonna take my expertise all day. All right. I know what I have. I know my knowledge of the game. I understand this as a player and as a coach. So I know how guys think. I know how coaches think. I know what what we're trying to do. At least, and I think it's maybe where me and Kurt Warner would, we were talking the same thing. Like, we don't know some of these combinations. Like, what's the rule on some of these routes? Okay. Like, every route, there's still rules. Every single route should have a rule to it. Like, if I'm asking for a deep crossing route, I'm telling my guy, hey, listen, I need for you to get across the field over the Mike linebacker, and I need for you to be at least 15 to 20 yards, okay? 20 to 22 yards, all right? There's a spot I want you to be exactly where the window's going to be, and you got to be able to feel it. This is where we're going to throw the football. Sometimes it seems to me that some of these, like, there's no rules in it. Like, and I don't know if I'm sure it's being clearly explained. Put it this way, okay? I'm not going to say that it's not being. I'm sure it's being clearly explained to guys. All right, but somehow it's got to be consistent to do something the exact same all the time. That's how you get good at it. It's like Andy was saying today. Like, you just got to keep doing. You just got to keep going to work. You just hope things click, and you got to keep going to the fundamentals. And that's absolutely true. Sorry. Hey, guess what? We don't have an answer for you. I understand you want the answer to explain everything, why we having the bad things that we having. I get that. One thing we can tell you is we're going to go to work. I know y'all want a detailed plan about what it is we need to do offensively to get to where we need to get to, right? So we're going to tell you what we know is the best formula for that. This is the most likely scenario. Is we go out to practice, we work on the fundamentals, we work on the route concepts, the catches, the play coming out of the breaks, things that we can control. Yes. Other than that, hey, I could come and give you a lot of fluff about what we're going to do, and we're going to catch 250 balls with this route, and we're going to do this route. We're going to run it 15 times this way. And maybe we'll go ahead and put a dummy coverage on, and we're going to do you can get all of that, okay? You can have one of the best intentions. You can have the greatest plan. The thing is, guys just got to execute it. That's what it boils down to. We're just looking right there in these next couple of weeks that it boils down to execution. So, yes, getting the ball out of hand, Patrick Mahomes, quick, moving the chains, get into a rhythm is what's going to help, right? Another thing, running the football. Let's run the football. Let's get on that. Let's not leave the running game out of it. Run the football. Sometimes you got to almost like, hey, look, yeah, I get we only got 2 or 3 yards this one, but maybe the next we're going to break for 6 to 10. So you got to try it. You have to try it. So I just, when we're looking for answers, we're going to keep beating our head over not getting what we want answer-wise from the coaches. That's the frustration, okay? Because what do you want them to tell you? Hey, yeah, guess what? MVS hadn't been doing this all week. That's been the problem. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fix it by using somebody else. Yeah, that's maybe what you want to say. That ain't going to do anything for MVS because you still need him. And you might be throwing him under the bus. I don't agree with that philosophy whatsoever. So
the whole check-down concept, with what Dante talked about, and then when you post the next gen graphics there, and it's like, yeah, it all screens. And if you look at those Brady teams, and this is something that we've kind of lacked, and I think in many ways, had we used Sky more in this kind of role, which I thought he was going to be like that slot receiver, an extension of the run game. 4 yards here, 5 yards here, just kind of being that like Wes Welker or Danny Amendola type, which I totally think he can be. Just gonna give him more time. But yeah, I mean, Kevin Falks of the world, James Whites of the world. I mean, the way they use the concept of the drag route, rub route concepts with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. I mean, those were checkdowns. I mean, that's where they were going with these guys, and it's like, yeah, we don't really have that. In the Mahomes era, we haven't really had that. Yeah, McKinnon was utilized a lot out of the backfield last year, screens and some checkdowns. But like we really haven't had like checkdown options in the because it's been mostly screen game stuff and not really checkdown options, and mostly Mahomes is not really going for the checkdowns, and that's kind of where he's coming from, to being mundane.
Yeah, no, he isn't. And so where he's still waiting for guys to get open. Okay, because he still believes in the play, get it to work. Now he just takes off because he trusts himself. He trusts his own legs. Okay, and so if you do it just to move the chains, like a quick checkdown, guess what that'll do? That'll make sure the linebackers are covering, saying, "Look, more checkdowns are coming. I got to be right there in the flat to get this tackle." All right. Give a couple check downs, like at your hands real quick. You watch corners and you watch linebackers start coming up a little bit more. And what that does, it opens up that middle for you, okay? That ram where that intermediate, where these guys are running, it'll be a different story. It's the same like the running game. Running game does the same thing because you're trying to manipulate the defense to get them doing what you want them to do, all right? So, yeah, short passes, crossing routes, all those different things, shallow crosses. Hey, those linebackers got to play that. Just like, cats watching mice run by. They're trying to hit it. I got to be right here. They know. And so what you do, you play high-low. You high-low them. You high-low the linebackers. That's what you do. So it's a game, man. It's an absolute game.
We have a question here from Chris Wright. Chris, appreciate the love, my man. Is this our Al Pacino any given Sunday locker room speech moment? God, I hope so. We talk about this being a rock bottom game for our offense to kind of, maybe hopefully this kind of wakes everybody up, splash some cold water on the face this week. Do you think this is our Al Pacino moment for Andy or someone in that locker room to give that game of inches speech?
Yeah, it's definitely that time. Who's going to do it though? That's the question. Is that going to be where Andy comes in and makes that? I think a speech like this has to come from an unlikely source. It has to come from an unlikely source. Maybe a guy that doesn't speak a lot. Okay, those are always the ones that grab you. You know what I mean? Like you turn around like, oh, I ain't never heard him say anything. You know what I mean? Like it's like for real. Like, oh. And so those are head turners. Those are like one of the motivators to get you going. And so, sometimes it takes that. But I do believe that any given Sunday speech, it's about that time. It is time. It's due. Past due. Past due. But yeah, man, I these guys are they're at the moment at this time that things have to click, it has to turn around. These next week are vital going into the playoffs. No doubt about it. So,
JD, we got a little Marcus said hi, Jason. Not this Marcus, another Marcus over here.
Oh, little Marcus, that's the Prince out there. Tell him I said hello, Marcus, my brother. Yeah. What's up, little Marcus?
It's Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
Oh, it's
my
guy Marcus.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, little Marcus? Yeah. How you doing, man? If you see me, I'm saying hi to you. All right?
That's my guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, obviously there's going to be a lot of, you said this week, I mean, I feel like it's every week we hear it where it just talks about like, guys are saying, oh yeah, we just got to be consistent on both ends of the ball. Well, yeah, I mean, you just keep saying it. And at some point it's like, all right, can we get it done on the field? Can that product be out on the field? Like it's just, we hear every press conference after every game, consistency. Mm-hmm. Well, we're waiting for it. And it's like one game you lose, the next game you come out, you look like a different team. Like you go from a Green Bay game to New England. A lot of people thought we were going to lose a New England game. We come out and we look phenomenal. then you have this down game, and it's like, and Pat kind of said it after the game. It's like 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, and it's like, I mean, and hopefully, we got 2 more games till playoffs, so like you can. They always say the teams that are the hottest going into the playoffs are the teams you need to worry about. The teams that limp into the playoffs, those are teams like, that team's like they're not clicking going into the playoffs. You want to be clicking at the right time. So you got 2 chances here to get a little win streak, get some win in our sails to get into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I do believe these guys, they are professionals and they know what's at stake. They know what's at stake more than we do. Okay. And I don't want us to miss that. And so as frustrated as we are, you can imagine the frustration for them. Like I said, this last game, Travis and Patrick were embarrassed. They were embarrassed by the loss. That's why you see them act out the way they're doing acting out. They're upset. They're embarrassed. They don't appreciate what's been going on at the field, and they're not loose. They ain't used to losing. They ain't used to losing. They used to the offense looking this way, Marcus. They not. So it's going to take him to do it, man. So Dan Olafsky's Key said Olafsky was talking about how PM15 is the only skill player we have on O who is good enough to play in a shotgun offense. So he forgot about Travis, and we need to go under center play action passing game. We should go under center play action passing, and we need to do more of that. I do agree with that, though.
What did you think of the we didn't really talk about this, the 4th down call where
Joe Wood, my man Joe Wood. Joe, what's going on, brother? Go ahead now.
No, it was. Don't worry, guys. Y'all put up 500 yards against Cincy this weekend. You know what? With the way Mason Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer did, I think Mahomes might break some records this weekend. No, but there was the one play, the fourth and short play. Bless you. Where it looked like it was going to be a little out route to Richie James, but Mahomes just took it, just booked it up the field. I was a big fan of that play call right there.
I did too. It was very creative, very creative. Because I didn't think it was going to be Pat running the football, but that was perfect. It's a good play calling, and it's going to take the coaches to put guys in the right position too, man. Let's not miss that part of it. Okay, the coaches are demanding guys to be, to do well, and to perform. They have their part in it as well, Marcus. They got to make sure they put guys in the right position to make plays, calling the right things to make first downs, and to advance the football and help his team win. That's a lot on it, man. We won't forget it. I'm not going to put it all on Matt Nagy, but Matt Nagy has some of the blame. And if he's part of it is him not getting some of the rhythm in, Matt, you got to do a much better job, man. Period.
Yeah,
Period.
We always talk about it being coaching and play calling being a collaborative effort, which they talk about all the time. And if that's the case, it's a collaborative effort when they win, and it's a collaborative effort when they lose. So everyone gets a little piece of the pie on that one.
Oh, yeah. That's right. No doubt about it. No doubt about that, for sure.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.